I've got to be honest, I'm bored of hearing all DJs sounding the same. Everyone's playing the same transitions, the same edits, and the same remixes. But if you want to stand out now as a DJ, especially online, you cannot just mix songs. You've got to perform and you've got to think creatively. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 ways that you can make your mixes actually sound interesting again. My name is Blakey, I'm a DMC champion. Let's get into it. Okay, first off, let's talk about stems, because stems are everywhere right now and they are an amazing tool to help you be more creative with your mixes. But there is a right and a wrong way to use stems. And right now I'm going to show you the right way to implement stems into your DJ sets. So right here, I'm using the DDJ Flex 4 with Serato, and I've got a track by MK called 17. You've probably heard this before. And the first thing we need to make sure of is, does this track sound good with only the vocal playing? Stems allows you to play with 4 different elements of the track. You've got the vocal right here, the melody, the bass, and the drums. Now, usually when I'm using stems, I'm either using just the vocal or the instrumental. And the smart thing to do is to check before using an acapella through stems whether or not it sounds good, because sometimes it doesn't. And the last thing you want is to be doing an acapella mix in your live set and you haven't tested out the track before using it. Now, fortunately, I know, because I've already checked, that this track sounds good with just the vocal playing. Let's take a listen. On the right deck, I've got a big house track at the moment called Love Songs, and I would like to use the instrumental version. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this track and I'm going to show you what it sounds like with the vocals removed. So this is a sparse bit of the track, and you can hear that it sounds pretty good. Now, it doesn't sound perfect, but there is no track in the world that is going to sound perfect with stems in Serato or Recordbox or Algorithm DJ. But trust me when I say the quality of the stems on both of these tracks is perfectly good. And actually, when you play them together, these tracks are going to help mask the imperfections on the other track. So now let's take a listen to the stems mix. So now let's talk about performing mixes that have a real contrast in the genres that you're playing. Doing this can be a risk, but if you want to stand out as a DJ, taking risks is precisely what you need to be doing. And this mix definitely ticks that box. Here on the left deck, I've got Sexual Healing by Marvin Gaye, and I'm going to be using the acapella only, and I'm going to be using Serato stems to take out all the other elements. And on the right deck, I've got Peach by Salute and Sammy Vergi. Now, if you know the track on the right deck, you'll know that this is a crazy contrast of genres. This shouldn't work, but personally, I think it does. I think this mix sounds really good. There's a real thin line between making a mashup that sounds good and making a mashup that's just a little bit too strange. But you're only going to find that out if you take some risks with your mixes. In my opinion, this mix I'm about to show you is a good example of thinking outside the box, taking risks, and trying to come up with something that's different from all the other DJs out there and will give you your own signature sound and your own style. So let's take a listen.
something that would call me whenever blue teardrops are falling and my emotional stability.
Now, if you want to go deeper on all of this, building sets that flow, sound unique, and actually make people remember you, then you should check out my creative open format DJing course. It's packed with real-world techniques and routines just like these, and it will completely change the way that you think about DJing. If you want to check it out, then just click the link in the description. Now, I really do think that long drawn out mixes can absolutely kill the energy on a dance floor. And I'm a big believer in mixing faster and with intention is the way to go. But there is a balance to get right. And this is how I would suggest doing it. So I'm going to show you a quick mix between 3 different tracks. We're going to start off with Band for Band by Central C, which is a UK rap track, and then we're going to mix in to Paris by Jay-Z and Kanye, which is hip hop. And then very quickly, we're going to mix into a Sammy Virgie track, which is UK garage. Now I am going to mix between these pretty quickly, but I do think if you get this right, it can really work in a club set. After I mix into Paris by Jay-Z, I'm going to take out all of the elements apart from the vocal and then mix into the Sammy Virgie track on the right deck to create a mashup. And I'm going to do this by using Serato stems, but Serato stems is completely optional here. For this type of mix, using stems will make it sound a bit cleaner, but it's not an absolute must. You can just use the EQs instead to tidy up the mix, maybe take out some of the highs and some of the mids from Paris. But if your controller or your DJ equipment does allow you to use stems super quickly like I am about to in this mix, then I do recommend it because it will make it sound better and it's more fun. I think mixing quickly but with intention, like I'm about to show you, is the best way to add energy to your club sets. So let's take a listen.
We could go band for band, fuck that, we can go M for M. $250,000 for the Maybach truck, double R with the factory rims. I got the 90 the years, the versions, the bribes, I'm really the threat. It's got to the point that I don't even count. So I ball so hard, let's get faded. Libraries for like 6 days. Gold bottles, soul models, spilling ace on my sick days. So ball so hard, bitch behave. Just might let you meet gay. Shot towns, B-rolls, moving the next BK. Ball so hard, motherfuckers wanna find me. That shit great. That shit great. That shit great. Ball so hard, motherfuckers wanna find me. That shit great. That shit great. That shit crack. She said, yeah, can we get married at the mall? I said, look, you need to crawl for your bar. Come and meet me in the bathroom style and show me why you deserve to have it.
Okay, this next one is all about pure, simple creativity. And it's actually a very easy DJ trick to add to your sets, but the creative possibilities are endless. We're going to be performing a simple acapella mashup, and I've got the acapella of Aaliyah, Rock the Boat on the left deck, and this is actually the official acapella. We're not going to be using Serato stems to get this vocal. Using the real acapella is always the best option if you can find it. So I would always recommend doing a bit of digging and trying to find the acapella. Now on the right deck, we've got a liquid drum and bass track called The View by LSB. And I think that R&B acapellas go really well over liquid drum and bass. An R&B acapella would also go well over UK garage. But the great thing about this DJ trick, an acapella mashup, is that you can mix any genre with any genre you like. This is really the time for you to get creative and be original and come up with mixes that will give your DJ sets their own signature sound. So let's take a listen. talk about adding simple scratching to your sets. You really don't need to be a DMC champion or even very good at scratching to add some simple scratches to your sets to make yourself stand out. And to prove that, for this transition, I'm only going to be performing very simple baby scratches. And scratching doesn't get simpler than the baby scratch. Let me show you what it is. So the baby scratch is where you move the jog wheel backwards and forwards with the crossfader open. And that really is it. As long as you practice the baby scratch enough so that you can perform it perfectly in time with the track that you're playing on the other deck, then this will sound good.
Man see me on road on one arm. Man see me on road on one arm.
Now, because these tracks are running at quite a fast tempo, you do have to be quite precise with these baby scratches. But trust me, after a little bit of practice, you'll be amazed at how quickly you can progress with simple scratches like this. I really do think that adding some simple scratching like this is a great way of making yourself stand out as a DJ. So let's take a listen.
The man them celebrate Eid, the trap still running on Christmas Day.
Man see me on road on one arm. Man see me on road on one arm. Man see me on road on one arm. Man see me on road. Man see me on road on one arm. Man see me on road on one arm. Man see me on road on one arm. Tell them shut your mouth, there's no qualms. Tell them shut your mouth, there's no.
Tell them shut your mouth, you're not bad. No, you can't sun me, never ever lost in the clash, you're mad. Try this me on my family tree. Alright, we could go dad for dad.
Now, if creative DJing is something that you want to learn more about, then I've got a playlist right here that is full of videos where I show you how to think outside the box as a DJ and build sets that make you actually stand out. I'll see you on the next one.